area. It's on I did the Zoom web.
Yeah, I
There
don't
should be
have.
like a gallery view,
I
speaker
have
view.
participants.
Click that.
I'm clicking participants,
Alana, hi.
and
So if
all
it's
it does is
webinar, you can
put.
only see panelists, sometimes only the active speaker. You won't be able to see everyone like in a normal meeting unless the host enables something like attendee video.
What?
Oh, it's on you, JR.
I don't want to be in
on
the
you,
middle of this shit.
JR.
That's the last thing I want to do. What did it say? Is if the host enables what?
Something like it says something like attendee video. Hold on.
I have no idea what the fuck
If
that
I
is.
don't
it's
even know what
hold
that
on.
means.
I'm saying, what does the host need to do? Click. Let's see, make sure everyone's on. If you still can't see everyone, they might be using focus mode.
I'm not in anything.
I almost
If
want
it's a
to
Zoom
literally
webinar, by default, attendees cannot see other attendees. Make you a panelist. Change the event type from webinar to meeting. Webinars aren't designed to see everyone. I think you just need to download the app really fast.
What if I just log in on my phone?
You can do that. Well, yeah, I mean, you can run both of them and then you'll see everyone and you'll be talking.
Yeah.
Let's see. Where's my text messages with you, Allie? There. Let's see. Zoom work.
JR, you have work tonight? Or what do you have?
Yeah, I gotta go to Boonies.
What is Boonies? Is that like a new
Boonies.
thing?
We have a Boonies down here, man.
Do you? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a
He lives by you. You guys live by each
Oh,
other.
I'm in Wellington.
Oh, okay, so am I. All right.
Oh, nice, dude. I'm
Now,
moving to Westlake on Monday.
oh, nice. That's
Yeah, dude,
Westlake is where's that?
Westlake is if you
It's only
if you're
been a
coming
city for
down
3
southern,
years.
like you're going towards Lion Country,
Okay.
you make
That's
a
where
right
the
on.
new DMV is, right? Like,
Yes,
okay.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah, we just bought a house in there,
Oh, nice.
like on New Year's Eve,
Oh,
something
yeah.
like that.
Literally.
Literally, yeah. All right, let's see what my phone does.
Recording in progress.
Oh,
You're gonna have to mute one of them.
yeah, I'm try and mute my phone.
I have
Okay.
faith in you, Ben. I really do. Oh, there you
No.
are. There's 2 of you.
Is there really?
Yeah.
It's okay. You'll be fine.
Like this. I don't believe
All
it.
the angles.
Now that's muted. Now I can see everybody. Oh, that's awesome. And there's 2 of me. Oof.
And there's 2 of me. Oh God, call the police, call the authorities. There's 2 Bens.
So JR, do you frequent down here like meetings and stuff?
I keep saying I'm gonna go back. I haven't in a while.
Where did you used to go?
I went to um, EDI for a while,
Okay, I know EDI.
and then
Did you ever go to Billy Bob's over on Southern?
No, I went
No.
most of the time. I was at what is the name
You
of
ever hit
that?
any of these Wellington churches up?
No, see, when I was going to AA, I lived in West Palm, so I was going to
Got it. So a lot of EDI. That's like
Crossroads?
no, there's one that's all
that's
the way
not West
back in the
Palm Alley.
industrial.
That's Del Rey.
I know. It was a joke.
By the way, your teeth look fantastic.
Thank you.
Awesome. Katie showed me a picture. I was like, that's not Allie.
I know.
What the fuck is that name? The name of it was in the industrial area in West Palm downtown by it's all the way in the corner.
I know where you're talking about. I know where you're talking
Like
about.
right off 95.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I went most of the time.
Am I echoing at all or no?
No, not anymore.
Oh yeah, let's go.
Craig, what's up, man? All right, let's give it a few minutes, see what we get in here.
Well, I'm gonna go over by the Christmas section where it's quiet,
No one's
because I can't leave without my headlights.
Hey, Kristen, how you doing? Thanks for joining us.
Hi.
All right.
Allie, when are you coming to visit Florida?
When you guys have my room ready.
It's already ready. Your room's ready before ours. We literally just bought our new room.
I love that.
Katie didn't like FaceTime you and show you the whole house.
No,
Oh,
she keeps losing her phone
no, this is true.
and then texts me about Britney Spears. She asked me to sign a petition.
I'm glad that my wife is doing so much productive stuff these days.
Britney Spears petition about what?
Don't get if my
We,
wife
we'll talk about it later, man.
Okay.
dude, if my wife walked in here right now, we'd be here
She
for
she take
hours.
over she take over the meeting.
She would
Yeah, she
actually
would 100%. And she would try and get you all to agree with what she's
and sign the
all,
petition.
all her conspiracy bullshit that she goes through in her head.
Well, she texts me when she's going down a rabbit hole,
I'm
and she's
glad she
like,
texted you because I
"Have you
don't.
seen this video?" or or what's going on with this? So like I'm in it with her, but like I'm not signing the Britney petition by some real sketchy people. So
Yeah, you're selective about who you give your personal information to.
yeah, I know. I literally said that to Katie. I was like, dude, do you know like who you gave your information to?
Nope.
She said
We're gonna have some Jehovah's Witnesses knocking
she
on our
said
house
justice for
door.
Britney was her answer.
Justice for Britney. That's
All
my
right, we'll
wife.
give it a few more minutes. We're gonna let some more people in here, and then we will get started. Real quick,
Oh,
let me check in with you guys. Who we got? Craig, give me some wins. Tell me something good.
Yeah. So, one win is setting a boundary with my girlfriend today.
Uh-oh.
Not today, but over the past week. It was good. It was not a bad thing. It was, she just felt some kind of way about a decision that I made for myself. And I had to just let her know, like, hey, I'm going to do what's best for me, like,
Yeah.
and so it worked out. I think she was, receptive to it. I think it kind of took her aback a little bit. But anyway, that was a good thing. And really just I got the green light to start lifting again. So I'm going to smack those weights come Monday and then get back on the program as far as my weightlifting goes. And really, work has been kind of, with the work drama going on and people being shady and stuff. So I've been watching people like a hawk.
Yeah.
And I've been documenting, my experiences. So just a win with that is just like, being on top of my game, at work, So other than that, man, I'm excited about this new year. So
Yeah, I'm excited that you can start working out again, man.
yeah,
I
me
actually
too.
I joined this guy Ryan Fisher has a really cool a whole bunch of different workout programs and stuff, and I signed up for one. So and I'm learning like about these other cool programs. So I'm going to start implementing some of the stuff I do that into some new workouts for us. So that should be cool. I did one today and I got my ass kicked at the gym. And I've never when I go to the gym, I'm always taking my time. But this one had like it was timed, so it was like 30 seconds of work, 30 seconds of rest, 30 seconds of work, 30 seconds of rest, and you did 8 sets at each exercise. And I was benching fucking 135, and I couldn't even get at the end. I couldn't get the bar off my fucking chest. So it was wild. So let's check in. Connor made it. That's wonderful,
Hey,
man.
don't
How
know
you
how to
doing?
work this thing yet.
Don't worry about it. You're here. I can hear you. I can see you. So that's all that matters. Tell me,
Oh, okay.
give me a
Okay,
couple
good.
wins. Give me a couple wins from the last week, couple weeks, because I know we haven't chatted a lot because of the holidays. But what do you got?
Yeah, I made it through the snowstorms in Montana and am safely in a warm house in Montana now.
Nice,
So
dude.
pretty big win for me. And I've seen my son like last 2 weeks, like almost every single day.
Oh,
So pretty big wins. It's been really awesome. It's been like very uplifting and just no, it makes me feel like I've been making all the right decisions and
yeah.
staying on track and stuff like that. So it's been really good.
So mentally, you're feeling good?
Yeah, mentally I'm feeling good. I've been doing my journals every day, doing my power lists and
Yeah.
and my gratitude list. And everything kind of grows from the 3 power lists. I've been doing like 10.
Yeah,
And then
I started adding more things in there. Let me show you guys this. I mean,
oh,
I told you guys to get the journal, but my journal I filled it up. So I started doing this thing where I put like I don't know if you can be able to see it. So like a daily check-in. in my
Oh,
app. And then there's the affirmation, the power list, and it's got like a little checkbox, and then gratitude list. And then these are just things that I do for my business every single day. So these are like my non-negotiables that I have to do every day. And I give myself a little note back there, outwork everyone. But
yeah.
so that if you don't want to do the journal and you'd rather do it digitally, that's one way of doing it. But whatever's
Okay.
easy for you, I'm finding this easier for me than writing down in the journal. And I don't know, it works for me. So if that works for anyone, and that's another option.
Well, that's good too. It sounds like having the non-negotiables, like you can add to it every day
Yeah,
versus
you can,
like
that's what
writing it down and forgetting one.
yeah, then that's the reason I bring it up is because also if you want to add more, you have more space to add, different things. If you want, like sometimes I've done a few affirmations. I want one that relates to my business, one that relates to my personal life. But it works for me. It works, and everyone's got like their own thing that works best for them. But that's what works for me. So, but glad you're here. Thanks for showing up. I'm gonna jump over to Chance. We're gonna do one more. We got Alana here too. Chance, give me one win.
Survive the holidays.
Yeah,
That's gonna be very stressful, very challenging. Blended family and the whole divide. So, but maintain, survive the holidays, sober, healthy. Mental was up and down because of holidays, and that
yeah.
could be kind of, But other than that, survived it, got through it, and happy, optimistic. So, still staying the course.
No,
Just
good.
survive the holidays.
I
Yep.
love it. I
Love
love it.
that.
And we're gonna jump one more. Halana, tell me something good.
Yeah, so hey, really good. I had a good holiday. I spent time with my son.
Nice.
We were outside majority of the time, soaking up the sun in Florida, bike riding and fishing and um, walking and just having a good time.
Good.
It was good time. It was good to spend some quality time with him, and also got into working out and trying to push myself a little bit harder and tweaking up my what I'm eating, but I'm good.
Okay.
Everything's good. So
Good, good.
I see differences in my body.
Well, let's
I
keep pushing. Let's keep pushing.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Um, you're getting the steps in still, going outside in the sun. Obviously, you didn't do
Yeah,
that because
so
you
I
were
went to work today and during breakfast break, I went around and I walked around the whole hangar facility
yeah.
outside though, and I ended up getting a blister on my foot through
Uh,
my steel toe shoes. So anyways, but it was good. I
um,
But it was good because I know what I need to do now, and it set me for a good day. So
good, good, good.
yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
All right. So I am going to pass it off to Allie. She's got Ben here. I appreciate you, Ben, for jumping in. Allie's going to take over, and then she's gonna introduce Ben, and we're going to get started. He's got a great story to tell, and if you guys need me for anything, you know where to reach me. I'm going to turn my camera and my microphone off for now, but let me know if you need anything. Allie, it's all yours.
Gotcha. Have a good night at work.
Yeah, well, I'm going.
Okay, hi guys. Um, so
Hello.
hi. Sorry, I'm in Walmart getting my headlights replaced, so I'm improvising at the moment. Yeah, it's fine, Ben. It's fine.
Everything's fine, Allie.
Everything's fine. So, um, let's see. I'm scrolling to see like who's in here. Okay. So I know last week, like I had talked about the holidays a little bit with me. Chance, I appreciate you sharing your bit about the holidays because that's kind of what I was talking about last week. It's like, hey, how's everybody getting through it? All right. So the idea for this, you know, essentially Saturday meeting, like I've told most of you, since different people come, is that like some of the weeks I'm gonna have like a speaker, and then sometimes we're just gonna chit chat about something. So Ben is a near and dear to my heart. His wife is one of my best friends. We've been best friends for like, I don't know, I think we're going on like 9 years now or something crazy. I don't do math. Ben has a really good story. He also got into the whole like recovery life coaching thing. And he used to like run groups and like connected with everyone really well at the facility in Nashville that I moved here like to run. So in my time there, like Ben was everybody's like favorite person who got on. It's true. I'm not even just gassing you up. It's true. So I'm going to pass it off to Ben and let him just kind of like share about him. And you know, I know that you guys kind of heard some about Taylor, some about me, but I think hearing from, you know, real people about what their journey looks like and how it all unfolded is important because everybody's story is different. So, Ben, it's all you.
I
And
appreciate
if my
you.
phone dies while I'm getting my headlight, because it's a possibility.
Why does this not surprise me?
You know, I'm doing
Your phone's dying now. Katie's phone died in El Dorado.
El Dorado.
The furniture store that we were on the phone with
Of
you
course.
earlier when she was getting a driving lesson.
Yeah, she needs to retake her DMV test. But when I get back in the car, I'm gonna log back in. So
Awesome.
all right, Ben, it's all you.
All right, guys. Allie, I appreciate that introduction. You know, it's always cool hearing introductions about yourself, or like hearing your peers or people that are a part of your life talk about you today. Is there an echo? Kind of, right? A little bit? No? Okay, cool. I have my phone because I can't like see everybody. So my phone's like the updated version of Zoom, and my computer is not. But anyways, you know, everything that Allie just said about me, like nobody spoke that way about me. Like nobody had positive things to say about me 15 years ago, you know, 20 years ago, whatever. Any time prior to me getting sober. Just a little bit of insight on me and my recovery. My sobriety date is August 30th of 2010. I got sober using the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous. But at the end of the day, I have a disease that tells me that, you know, one is too many and 1,000 is never enough. I have the disease of more. It doesn't matter if it's more alcohol, more cocaine, more girls, more cars, more clothes, more shoes, more, you know, more jobs, whatever it is. I need more of it. I have a disease of I'm never content. I can't find that happy medium. I don't do anything in life in moderation. You know, 15 years later, doing this thing, I've gotten better at it. You know, thank God that the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous claim progress, not perfection, because I'm the furthest thing from perfect at this thing. You know, but I've been granted a relationship with a God of my understanding that helps me get through things on a day-to-day basis. You know, what it was like, what happened, and what it's like now. I don't, you know, my story for me is one of those stories where you're either going to relate to it, because I like to talk about the feelings. And you know, when Bill Wilson wrote the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous, and he mentioned what it was like, what it's like, or what happened and what it's like now, like I truly believe that he meant what it was like when I was drinking, what happened as a result of my drinking and drug use. You know, and anytime I refer to drinking, you can throw anything in there, right? I like cocaine. I like, you know, excessive amounts of mushrooms. I like whatever you need to throw in there to make it work for you, feel free. But I refer to it as alcoholism. I refer to it as drinking because that's just how I got sober. Um, so that being said, you know, I had my first, I like to call it drunken experience, alcoholic experience when I was about 12 years old. I was walking past my brother's room and he, he had a bunch of friends over and he like peers out of his room. He sees me and my buddy walking by. We're like 11 and 12 years old, and all of a sudden I just hear like, "Hey, shithead, get in here," and I'm like, "Oh, here we go. My brother's about to beat my ass in front of all of his friends again," and whatever. He has me and my friend come into his room, and he's like, "Sit down, take this," and he throws a shot of vodka across the table, and him and his buddies got me fucking hammered, right? Like I was that kid that like at all the family functions was like running around the table drinking the half empties, like just because like I knew I wasn't supposed to be doing that, so I really wanted to do that. I don't know what it was about this idea of doing what I'm not supposed to, right? I was a troublemaker. I was the kid that thrived off negative energy. I loved getting that negative that negative attention. It didn't matter. I didn't care if you praised me for doing something good. I loved hearing what you had to say to me after I got in trouble for something, and that goes all the way down to like when I was like 5 years old. My brother had a birthday party one time, and it was at one of those like mini golf courses, and I remember there's a video. My dad's filming it. He's got a video of me like taking all my clothes off and going swimming in one of those little like blue lagoons at the putt-putt golf courses. Like and you can hear my mom in the background like, "Get him out of there, get him out," and I'm just splashing away, knowing what I'm doing is wrong, like knowing that I'm causing a scene, knowing that I'm taking all the attention away from something else and putting it on me. And I found out at a very early age that it's very easy to get that attention when you're doing something wrong, when you're doing something negative. So anyways, my brother got me and this kid, this buddy of mine at 12 years old, good and hammered. And the next morning, like this is where I'm different from the average alcoholic or the average drinker. I don't mean to say alcoholic, than the average drinker, right? We woke up in a guest bedroom in my dad's house, both on the same bed, fully clothed, thank God. And I looked at him, he looked at me, he's like, "Dude, if I smell like vodka, my mom's gonna get so mad. Like, she's gonna pick me up and I'm gonna, I'll never be able to hang out with you again, whatever." And I was like, "Dude, you have fun with that shit. Like, have fun figuring that out. Have fun gargling mouthwash, doing whatever you got to do. I'm going back to my brother's room to see if he has any more of that stuff. Because last night was the best I ever felt in my entire life. And I chased that feeling for the next, 5, 6 years, right? And I like to refer to myself as an as often as possible drunk. From the age of like 12 to 16, I was in as often as possible. It wasn't like I was out seeking alcohol. It's not like I was paying the homeless guy outside the liquor store to go in and buy me alcohol at 16. But like if alcohol was presented to me, I drank it in excess. I never had one of those experiences where it was like, "Oh, me and my buddies got a six pack and we hung out in the woods and we each drank one." Like, I never had that experience. I was more or less like, "You have a six pack. There's two of us. That means you get one and I get five." Like, that's the way I'm gonna drink because I need to feel the effects produced by alcohol. And if there were three of us and there was a six pack and we all got like one and a half or whatever, or one, I was like, "This is dumb. I'm not doing it." Like, I'd rather not do anything at all if I can't overindulge, like, and then the pity party, "Oh, woe is me," this guy sucks because he didn't get enough alcohol for everybody. Like, everything I did was in excess, and by the age of 18, I would say I was an everyday drinker. And if I wasn't drinking every day, I found something to put up my nose. I found something to smoke. I found something to put in my body to make me not feel the way that I felt the moment that I woke up. And when you turn 18 in the United States of America, you're an adult. I didn't know this, right? This was news to me. And I got arrested for the first time ever as an adult. I was probably like 2 months after I turned 18. And I'll never forget this experience. They, I got arrested for attempted robbery, right? Um, the story goes that I tried to rob somebody of a boatload of drugs, and it backfired. They called the police, pressed charges against me, and claimed that I was trying to rob them of a laptop, right? So, anyways, I ended up with this theft charge, and they arrested me. They took me to the little holding cell, and they released me on my own recognizance, gave me a court date. And good little dude that I went and ran straight home to daddy, because I know that he's my great enabler. And I said, Dad, I got arrested, I don't know what to do. And my dad only knew of one lawyer, and he happened to be a great lawyer. See, there's two lawyers in the world. There's good lawyers and there's great lawyers. And the good lawyers are the lawyers that go to law school, they study the bar, they pass the exam, they get a job, and then they represent degenerates like me. Right. And then there's great lawyers, and great lawyers do that also, except they also know the judge. And I had a great lawyer. And I'll never forget this case. This kid was actually pursuing these charges, and he got up on the stand, and my lawyer just said, "Young man, I'm going to ask you one question. Let me remind you, you're under oath. Was my client trying to buy illegal drugs from you, or were you actually trying to sell him a laptop? Let me remind you, you're under oath." And the kid was, "Oh, your Honor, do I have to answer that?" And the judge said, "I get it. We don't need to go any further. I'm going to dismiss this case." And I was like, oh my God, Bill Wilson in the Big Book talks about like that I have arrived moment. Like that was my I have arrived moment. It was like, wow, if my dad is always willing to pay this guy to represent me, there is nothing I can't get away with. That was kind of like my aha moment. Like I can live the way I want to live and do what I want to do because I know my dad will continue to have this guy keep me out of jail. And long story short, I ended up with 9 arrests, all carrying multiple charges in a span of 4 years. Um, I ended up with a slap on the wrist here. I had an ankle monitor there, no serious consequences. But through all of it, my drinking and drug use just skyrocketed. I had no consequences. And it wasn't like every time I drank, I got arrested. It wasn't like every time I went to go buy a bag of blow, I got arrested. But every single time I got arrested, there was a bag of blow involved. There was alcohol involved. There was something in correlation to these substances that were, in my mind, my solution to life, and me getting arrested and me catching these charges and me living this degenerate lifestyle, And, like I said, I didn't suffer any consequences until I did, right? I ended up getting a DUI, and it was my second DUI, and I had 2 DUIs already. I was on probation, and or no, no, yeah, yeah, I was on probation. That's the story. Sorry, I'm going back 15 years. I got to remember this stuff. And I had one of those blow and goes in my car, where you got to, and then it clicks, and then you can turn your car on. Here's another thing, right? Like get this, like normal people can get DUIs, right? It happens. Normal people can leave a bar, get pulled over, they got followed out, right? And then they go, man, I'm never going to do that again. Man, that sucked. That's points on my record. That whatever, right? And then they never drink and drive again. They're like, I should have Ubered. That's what I'm going to do from now on, I ended up with 2 DUIs. After the first one, I already had the blow and go, so I ended up for my second DUI, I was driving a car that didn't have the registered blow and go in it. And anyways, the blow and go was on a violation system, right? So it gave you 5 warnings. Let's say you rinsed your mouth with mouthwash and then you tried to blow in it too fast. It would take a warning away and say, hey, try again in 15 minutes, And I ran through all 5 of those violations in like, I don't know, 2 days. So when I went to get it recalibrated and they would send over my little transcript of blow and go warnings to my PO, they saw that I had completely used up all the violations and they violated my probation. And they're like, you're going to jail. Like, you don't have a choice at this point. So because I violated on a DUI, I was looking at a max or minimum sentence of 1 year in Baltimore Jessup prison. And if I'm going to be frank with you guys and politically correct and, whatever, a kid like me from Potomac, Maryland is not going to do too hot in the Baltimore prison system. Like, that's just the reality of it. Like, I was not meant for the gang life or the prison life. Like I wasn't cut out of that cloth. Like that's just not who I was, and so anyways, they set my court date, and I was supposed to serve a minimum. It was a minimum served of 1 year for violating my DUI probation. And like I said, I had a great lawyer. And the day of my sentencing or my little case, he couldn't make it that day. He found out that morning that he had a family emergency, and he called the judge. The judge said, we need Mr. Schlosser to just show up. As long as he shows up, we'll give you a continuance and we'll see you at a later date, whatever. I did, because my great enabler, Dad, drove me there, made sure I got into the courthouse, made sure that I made it there, and they gave me a continuance. And I'll never forget this. I was on a first name basis with the court system at this point. Like, everybody knew me and I knew everybody. And this judge had tried cases that I had, had before. And he said, as like he gave me my continuance, he said, last thing I'm going to say to you, Mr. Schlosser, don't fuck up. I'll see you in 2 months. Don't fuck up. He didn't say don't fuck up. He said don't make any new mistakes, right? But my brain was like, don't fuck up. Okay, you're already fucking up. Don't get caught. For 2 months, Ben, just don't get caught. And I'm a good alcoholic, so what do you guys think happened? I got caught. About a week later, I got pulled over for a felony possession charge. Felony possession and violation of that probation on top of the original violation of probation. So anyways, I was looking at a maximum of 10 years in state prison, given all the circumstances that came with the arrest. My case came, my court date showed up. I went to court, and I thought that this was like the longest case of my life. It just goes to show like how fucking inebriated and out of it I was. My dad told me it was all of 30 minutes. But I remember the judge going into his chambers, coming out, letting my lawyer know that he had reached a verdict. And then he looked at me and he said, I sentence you to 6 years in state prison. And my stomach just like, I thought I was going to throw up. Like, I don't know if it was because I was so hungover, withdrawals, but like life kind of finally hit me. Like, oh my God, I'm about to go spend 6 years in prison. Like, I'm not a criminal. Like, I'm just somebody who abuses drugs and alcohol. Like, come on. And then he said, all suspended but 60 days. Upon your release, you are to immediately go to a facility for drug and alcohol abuse. And they took me away, and I served my little measly 60 days I thought I was doing hard time. Thought I was this gangster now. I'm the toughest guy on the block at this point. I got like 4 tattoos at the time, and I got out. And when I got out, I had convinced my dad that I didn't need to go to rehab yet. I needed about a week or two to get all my affairs in order, you know. And my dad was like, "What are you talking about? They said that you have to immediately go." I said, "No, no, no. I gotta say goodbye to the dog. I gotta say goodbye to my family, who I don't talk to ever. The people who, all my old friends. Now let me make a point, right? When I was incarcerated, uh, I made little like sweet promises, like little sweet nothing promises. And it was my first time actually thinking sober, and I say the word sober, and what I mean is like abstinent. I'd finally been removed from the drugs and the alcohol, and I would write letters and I would say things to like my dad or my mom or my brother, and I would say things like, "Hey, when I get out of here, I'm gonna stop hanging out with Billy, Bobby, and Joe because they're clearly the fucking problem. When I get out of here, I'm gonna re-enroll in college. I'm gonna get my life back on track. Um, I wasn't the problem. The problem wasn't me. It was my surroundings. It was the things that I was putting myself in that were causing all these circumstantial bullshit to happen to me. Like woe is me. I'm the fucking victim all the time. And like I genuinely meant it. Like I genuinely like wanted some bit of change to happen in my life. Like I didn't anticipate getting sober and staying sober. But I did anticipate like I need a change of scenery. I need to stop hanging out with knuckleheads. I need to start, living life right. I don't want to wind up back here. And I meant it, you know. The problem was that I had no defense. I had absolutely no defense. So when I got out, my dad took me to see my PO the very day that I got out. I convinced him that this could take a really long time and that he should go run some errands. It took all of 10 minutes. My PO was fucking aghast that I was even there and that I wasn't on an airplane going somewhere for rehab. And I said, "Oh my God, I didn't know I was supposed to go already." And she was like, "Look, you got a week to figure out where you're going and let me know." And I was like, "All right, cool. Have a great day." And I'm sitting outside my PO office and I look across the street and there's this barbecue joint. And I'm like, man, what's one beer? I've already made that testament that like I want to live right. Like I should be able to have one beer. Now I didn't know that I was alcoholic. I didn't know that I struggled with the disease of more, and I went across the street. I had a barbecue pork sandwich and a Corona, and I spent the next week and a half in a blackout. I could tell you bits and pieces of what I did, where I went, who I saw, but I can't put together a full 24 hours in that week and a half. Um, I came to in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, with my dad kind of like shaking me, like, "Hey, well, it's time to get off the plane," And I was like, "Where the fuck am I?" And he was like, "You're going to rehab tomorrow." And I checked into rehab, and I'll never forget it. You got to remember, right? This is 15 years ago, and I'm 22 years old. Um, I walked into rehab, thinking that I was going to tell all these people how this was going to work for me. Like, these are the pieces that I'm going to pick and choose, and these are the pieces that I'm not going to do. Meanwhile, I'm going to maintain this character of who I am because don't you know who I am? Right? I'm like one of the coolest motherfuckers here, right? With my lime green Volcom hat and my lime green lettered Nike SB shirt and my black skinny jeans and my lime green Nike SBs. Like I walked into rehab, and if you know the area, well, you know what? You don't even have to know the area, right? Because a fuckboy is a fuckboy. And I looked like the poster child of a fuckboy. Like that's exactly what I looked like. I was such a piece of shit. I was such a loser. And that's just the reality of it, and they let me try it out. They were like, look, let this motherfucker think his ego is going to serve him. Let him, let's see how well this works for him. And about 2 weeks in, I got pulled out of group, and they sat me down, and they were like, as soon as, well, first off, I was so elated to get the fuck out of group. Who the hell wants to sit around in a group setting and talk about your fucking feelings? Nobody, right? Like, so great. I don't have to do that for the next hour. And they pull me out. They bring me into this like big office, a room that like I had never been in the rehab. And I walk in, and there's the director, the manager, my case manager, basically all the family therapists, like everyone was there. And the director of the rehab goes, hey, Ben, sit the fuck down and shut the fuck up. You got 3 options. Get the fuck out and go kill yourself, spend the rest of your life in prison, or try something that you've never done. Go back to group. Have a nice day. You got 2 weeks to make a decision, and we will know which decision you make. And I was just just like that quick. That quick, they hit me with it. And I was like, what just happened? First off, don't you know who I am? Like, I'm the coolest guy here. What a claim to fame, the coolest guy in rehab. um, and and I started walking back to group. And I don't know why I believe today, at 15 years sober, that God carried me back to my apartment. And I sat on my bed and I started to cry. And I realized that at 22 years old, those were my life choices. I could either kill myself. I was too chicken shit to try that. I could go spend the rest of my life in and out of the judicial system. I had a little taste of that. I'm good. And, or I could try this whole sobriety thing. And they took us to an outside meeting that night. And I don't know if it's because the guy saw me get off the druggy buggy. I don't know if it's because I had this look of desperation on my face. But a guy came up to me and he said, hey, man, let me ask you something. Is it your first time ever trying to get sober? And I said, yeah, actually it is. I don't know anything about this. He said, cool. I wish you the best of luck. Let me just say, you only have to do it once. You never have to do this thing ever again. You don't have to live the way that I've been living. And I later found out that that guy's never put more than about 6 months to 9 months together. Like he'll get 9 months, something will happen, and he'll use it as an excuse to go drink or whatever, right? And that it didn't really click until later down the line. Like I was like, what the fuck does this guy know what he's talking about? Like what the like it doesn't even make any sense, right? Like I'm still in that fog, and they gave me suggestions like, get a sponsor. And I got a sponsor that was exactly what I needed when I needed it. My sponsor's name is Thomas. I still talk to him on a regular basis. Do we go through the steps and always talk recovery? Absolutely not anymore, But what that man did for me was every week he met up with me at a random fucking park bench or a random coffee shop or in his living room, and we sat down, we opened this book, and we just kind of read it together. And we were cut from 2 completely different cloths, but there was something about him. He was just, he had that look of God. Like God is working through this man's life. And I want whatever the fuck it is. Whatever he's doing, I want it, And he never barked at me. He never told me if I do this in early sobriety that I'm no longer sober, or if I go to that meeting that doesn't really count as a meeting, or he never strong-armed my recovery. He let me get sober the way I needed to. And all he did was simply sit with me, read, and allow me to create this interpretation of my own understanding of a higher power, which I choose to call God. And he gave me little insights here and there, like I remember when I lived in a halfway house, and I worked at Panera Bread. That was my first job ever in recovery. And I was a dishwasher. And I got a shit paycheck. But it was enough for me to buy a carton of cigarettes and pay my rent at the halfway house. And I would call him because my roommate would eat my food. And he would say things like, that's really nice of you to feed him. You're doing God's work. You know, it's really, really, that's a blessing that you're able to provide your roommate with a meal today. I'm like, no, motherfucker, you don't understand. Like, he didn't ask me. He just ate it. He goes, yeah, no, I understand. That's a blessing. What a blessing that you get to provide that for someone. And then he would hang up on me, or I would call him and he would say things like, I would have all these grandiose problems. Like I missed the bus to get to work. And he'd say, man, let me ask you something. You got both feet above ground? Yeah. You got a roof over your head tonight? Yeah. You got a bed to sleep in? I do. Are you sober? Say, yeah. You go, cool. Give me a call when you got some real fucking problems. Or you would hang up the phone on me. Like I look back now and I'm like, wow, man, like recovery really is all about perspective. Like here I am complaining that I missed the bus, and I might be late to work, right? Like I get there when I get there, at the end of the day, like, I got a little bit of food in the fridge. I got a little bit of money in my pocket. It's not a lot, but like I got to have that attitude of gratitude. Um, I would say things. I would say things to him like, man, I'm so grateful for this life that I get to live today. And he'd go, yeah, well, your feet better match your mouth. And I never understood what he was really saying. But what he was saying was that gratitude is an action word. I could walk around all day talking about how blessed and grateful I am and then go act like a piece of shit. I need to act grateful. It's anybody can say that they're grateful. How do you act when the server brings you the wrong dish? How do you act when you pull into a parking garage and there's no spots available? You know, how do you act when your car breaks down on the side of the road? You know, I've learned over the last 15 years of doing this pretty meticulously that everything in my life today is a get to. I get to do the things in my life today. If my car breaks down, yeah, it sucks. And I'm allowed to be upset about it. I'm allowed to be pissed. I'm allowed to throw a little fit. But then I have to realize what a blessing it is that I own a car that gets to break down, right? What a blessing it is that I got a flat tire and I have enough money in my pocket that I can go get a replacement tire. Yeah, it fucking sucks, but I can't let it ruin my day. I have to always move with intention. And when I stop doing that is when things in my life start to pile up. I'm beyond blessed today. Like the new year has just come tenfold for me in the last, like, I don't know, 2 weeks, right? So yeah, like I'm getting emotional. I have an 8-year-old daughter. I have a 1-year-old son. And just before Christmas, I found out that my wife is pregnant. And it's not like an oops baby, like it was planned, and like for my son, you know, we had to go through all these things to like figure out how she was going to get pregnant. Um, and for this to happen so naturally, like it's one of like God's miracles, like it's one of God's greatest gifts is the ability to like bear child and give birth. And my daughter is like, we butt heads, but like that's my homie, like she'll be 9 in March, and I'm her biggest fucking fan. She's an incredible athlete. She plays travel flag football. Last summer she won a silver medal. She just won a state tournament, and I'm that dad in the end zone. Like when my kid's scoring a touchdown, like I'm that dad, like embarrassing the shit out of her. Like being a dad and a husband are hands down the two greatest gifts that this life has given me. Um, there's nothing I would trade for being my kid's father and my wife's husband. Like I have a new sense of purpose today that I get to provide for these people and be their protector and be that, you know, sense of guidance in this household. And not even in this household for much longer because on Monday we're moving. Like my life is truly a blessing. You know, um, we closed on a new house on the 30th. And my in-laws were in town just this last week and you know, they came by to see our new house. And I said to my mother-in-law, you know, like, you know, she knows my story. And I said, you know, this was never in the cards for me. If somebody had told me 15 years ago to, you know, what are your life goals for the next 15 years? Like, I would have sold myself so fucking short. So short because when I first got sober, all I wanted to do was just not feel like a piece of shit anymore. I just wanted to be a decent human being, you know? And what I got is just like, wow. Like my life today is truly a testament of working a program of recovery, you know, trying to see things from a new perspective. You know, my dad, the great enabler, um, that's my best friend, you know. Me and my dad are like this, you know. Um, I see him with my son, and I don't know if like there's any like it's almost like I get like flashbacks of like my childhood, you know, like I see how he is with my son, and it's like what like I didn't think I was gonna be around for all this, you know, like let alone have it. Like I didn't think I was gonna live this long living the way I was living to have these things. And, you know, my son walked on Christmas night. like, like it's little things like that that like, I don't think I would have thought were cool 15 years ago. But that's like the coolest shit in the world, you know, like he's like a little me and I watched him take his first step. Like his first steps were like between me and my wife, like he was walking back and forth to us. Like it was, I don't know, the things that I think are cool today are just like they're so out of what I used to like think was cool. You know, like I love being a family man. Like, and people from my past have commented like, Ben, like someone told me that like you were gonna be a dad and be the dad that you are and that you would be a good husband to somebody, like I would have laughed in their face. You know, like yeah, me too, you know, like I would have laughed at them too. Like the fact that like I'm able to show up for other human beings the way that I do. Sometimes I run myself dry, you know, like sometimes I just overflow and I forget to take care of me, right? And I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay with that today because the people that I pour into and the things that I pour into, I know are going to come back and serve me when I need it, you know. Um, I give all the glory to a power greater than myself. I call it God. Um, you know, I'm gonna wrap this up with just saying, you know, when 12-step recovery started, um, they asked Dr. Bob, who was Bill Wilson's co-founder, they asked him, "How does AA work?" And you know, when they were dealing with like all the political bullshit and the Rockefellers and all that, and Dr. Bob said, or they asked Bill Wilson. I'm sorry, they asked Bill Wilson, and Bill Wilson said, "Oh, it works just fine. Thanks for asking." You know, and like they really didn't like that response, so they asked the co-founder, Dr. Bob, and when they asked Dr. Bob, he said, "It's very simple. It's one drunk loving another. So I love all of you, and thanks for letting me do this.
Amazing, Ben. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that was awesome. Thank you. Love you too.
That was one thing Thomas always told me. Yeah, I would hang up, I would get off the phone with him and he'd go, "Hey man, if no one's told you that they love you today, I do." And I thought it was the cheesiest shit in the world when I was first getting sober, you know? I'm this 22-year-old kid, like, you know, why does this guy love me? He hardly even knows me, you know? And like, I realized he did love me. He had my best intentions. You know, he like, I don't know. I try and give love wherever I go, whenever I can.
Do you speak anywhere else?
I'll speak wherever I'm asked.
You definitely have a gift.
Thank you. I appreciate
Yeah,
that. Thank you.
I was crying with you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
sure. Yeah.
But you know, it's like, and I kind of like touched on it, you know, like the things in my life, like I try and not say have to anymore, you know, like I have 50-50 custody of my daughter, right? And I have a good relationship with her mom. And when I pick her up from school on Wednesday or Thursday or Friday, um, I typically say I get to go pick my kid up, right? Like it's not a chore. Like I get to go do that because 15 years ago, I probably wouldn't have showed up. You know, like if like my dad just turned 70 and we flew up for his birthday and it was like I get to show up for my dad. I get to show up there. Um, like that's how I try and live my life. And I'm far from perfect at it, right? I don't do it right all the time. I fuck up on a daily basis. Like my wife, if I brought my wife in here, she'll tell you that I fuck up regularly, right? Like my daughter will tell you that I fuck up regularly. Like, but it's the ability to take accountability and look inward and say, all right, where am I falling short? Like, what am I doing that needs work? You know, my wife and I do this thing where you know, we'll, you know, every couple months, you know, we'll be like, hey, how can I serve you? You know, like, what do you need for you to be able to provide for me? Like, you know, and it's just kind of like, it's just like a check-in, like, hey, am I giving everything, right? This past year, like hockey took over my life, you know, and I know that it did. Um, and I'm playing a lot. And when I asked her, like, hey, how can I serve you? She was like, look, like, you're pouring a lot into hockey right now. And like, part of me wants to be, yeah, but that's my outlet. You don't understand, right? Right. And that, but it's like, you know, like, she needs something from me. So I have to take a step back and look at that. Like, all right, like, where can I cut that out? You know, like, there's a big tournament this weekend. I wanted to play in it, but I chose not to, you know, like, and I don't hold that against my family, you know, like, all right, well, what can I do for my family in that time? Cool. I'm going to get our asses moved into this new house. Like, you know, she's pregnant. I don't expect her to lift boxes. I don't expect her to drive shit over there. Like, I'm going to do that and I'm going to feel really good about it. And if I miss a tournament, so be it. It is what it is. There'll be plenty of them, you know. But the old me would have been like, "Oh, you don't understand. Like, I need this shit. That's my outlet. That's how I'm, you know, able to show up for you." Like, and it's all excuse. It's all bullshit. You know, at the end of the day, like anything that I choose to not willingly look at, there's a reason that I'm not willing to look at it. It's probably because there's some truth in whatever someone's saying, you know, and I don't mind being called on my bullshit. Do I get emotional and do I get my butt hurt and do I get my feelings hurt? Absolutely. Allie will tell you, I'm probably one of the most emotional dudes that you'll ever meet, right? But like,
You are, but it's like a gift, you
but I
know?
like getting called on my shit because it allows me to change or not change, right? Like I have the right to say like, hey, like this is what I'm doing and this is how I feel and this is what I think but I have to be willing to deal with the consequences of that, you know?
What's your sign? Are you a Cancer?
He's a
No, I'm a
Gemini.
Gemini.
I'm asking JR. I'm like, this guy's got to be a water.
He has cancer in his chart. I've already looked. I know all about it. He does. He has a lot
Yeah.
of water in his
Yeah.
chart.
Allie, Katie, and I were all on what was that app that you had me
We have
download?
Katie and I have co-star. Remember, like
That's it, the co-star. I deleted that shit.
I went over to their house and Katie's breaking out these tarot cards. She's like
All those are in the
saging me and
garbage, by the
Ben.
way. They're all not coming to the new house. We'll get new ones. If she wants new ones, she can get new ones. But I'm like,
So they're
dude,
gonna get lost on the way, is what you're saying.
no, I already threw them away. Allie, dude, look behind me. Look behind me. There is nothing on these walls. Like,
Is that the living room?
no, this is the kitchen, the built-in,
Oh,
the fireplace.
wow. Oh, yeah, there's
Yeah.
the fireplace. Oh, shit.
Yeah, there is nothing here. I have emptied this house.
So I apologize. I'm late to the party. So your wife is Katie, and Allie, who was Taylor that you were speaking of before?
Taylor is, so Katie's like my longest best friend from Florida, like going on like 9 years. And Taylor and I have been best friends for like 7.
Okay. And do they have similar backgrounds or stories that they've kind of told too? Yeah.
So
Yeah, Allie was at my wedding.
It was.
It was at my wedding.
I'd be interested to hear more too if you guys ever do another call or anything.
Yeah.
So I'm doing like the every Saturday basically, and I'm like lining up people to talk, and I'm sure I could, finesse Ben into coming back at some point, maybe.
Easily.
He used to run like groups for me at the facility that like I ran here in Nashville. So it's, I don't know, it's just
story, so I was able to connect. So
I appreciate it. I'm glad that
that.
you were able to connect. I wanted to touch on one more thing. I don't know the other female in the group. What was your name?
Alana.
No, Alana. You mentioned spending time with your son recently, and like that just like made me like that was like one of your highs, and like that, like that, like last night I took my daughter. We had like a daddy-daughter date to the Winter Classic, and like it was cool, Like I love hearing stuff like that. So
Yeah,
kudos to you.
Yeah, I remember I took him kayaking because I'm from Florida too originally. I live in Savannah now, but I took him kayaking, and let me tell you, I think took him to Silver Springs, and if you could ever make it to Silver Springs, it's so majestic.
Yeah.
Florida has a lot of springs, but I took him kayaking and also paddleboarding, and man, being sober and being able to do that and show up and be there for me. And he was just rowing the boat, and he was just like, man, I'm kayaking. Like, he's like, woo,
That's
but it was
awesome.
amazing to be able to do that and show up and be sober, which I was homeless years ago, I wouldn't have been able to do. So
It's a
really
blessing.
good.
It's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. I love hearing stuff like
Mhm.
that. It's the gifts of sobriety.
Yeah,
And it's
absolutely.
and to a normal person, they might hear that and be like, "So you took your kid kayaking? Good for you. Like good
Right.
shit. Whatever. Like you're supposed to do that, right? Like or
Yeah.
whatever. But like for us, it's like, yeah, but years ago, I wouldn't have even thought of this other person. Like I would have, let alone take them to go do something. Like I wouldn't have even been thinking about them. Like it's
Right.
it's a blessing. It's a gift.
Years ago, I was shooting up behind buildings, trying to figure out how I'm gonna, where I'm gonna put my stuff at, and like what am I gonna do? Where am I gonna shoot up at? Saying like, and I was so lost, completely lost. So it just being able to do that, and it's like God met us right there. The water was so crystal clear, and it was just the most amazing moment, and that's something I know that I'm looking forward to keep doing with him. And but yeah, most people don't understand that, you know what I mean? But it's okay.
Yeah.
I do. I do, and I'm grateful for that.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I'll give you a tidbit, I made a comment to my dad. He didn't really think anything of it when I came to his birthday. If I didn't come, he probably would have been upset, of course,
Mm-hmm.
right? But like he was like, yeah, like you came, good, great, look, that's awesome, But like for me, it's like, man, like I stole years from this guy's life, like it's
Yeah.
the least, like that's the least that, like it's one of those things. Like Thomas told me when I was in rehab, he said, "Have you ever called your dad?" Now, right? Some of us, if we still have elderly parents alive, right? Like try this and just you're gonna blow their minds. You'll literally like imagine their heads exploding. Call them. Call your mom, call your dad, call your grandma, call whomever, right? And just ask them how they're doing.
Yeah.
And when they're done talking, say, "Hey, it was really nice talking to you," and then hang up. And I'll never forget the first time I did that with my dad. He like he was like dumbfounded that like I wasn't calling going, "Well, I also need this and I need you to do this for me and then I'm going to need this and then I need and my bank account's really low, so you got to put money in my right like that's how I lived my life, I was such a taker, it was take take take.
Mm-hmm.
I never
Yep.
gave back, and it was just one of those things like, that was probably the foundation of where me and my dad got to rebuild our relationship with me being sober. And I'll say this. Um, my dad, and I'm fighting back emotions. My dad has flown to Florida. He lives up in Maryland. My dad has flown to Florida every August for the last 15 years to celebrate my recovery.
Awesome.
Because I keep him near and dear. I keep him involved. I'll probably call him tomorrow and tell him that I spoke on a meeting, and I want him to know like I'm still doing the deal, right? Like part of the 12-step program, which I understand, like not everybody works the 12-step, but like for me, like I made 9-step amends. And when I
Mm-hmm.
sat down with my dad and I asked him, hey, what can I do to right all these wrongs? And, I got the generic answer. He said, "Oh, just keep doing what you're doing. I'm so proud of you." And it's like,
Yep.
yeah, we hear that, right? And it's like, all right,
Mm-hmm.
well, keep doing what you're doing. So basically, the way I read that now is when I stop doing the things that I was doing,
Mm-hmm.
I'm no longer holding up my end of the bargain. I'm no longer being accountable to that amends. When I stop praying, when I stop acting right, when I start bitching, when I start doing those, right? Because I stopped doing those things early in recovery. It was very early. It was very easy early in recovery to be like, "Oh, I'm going to be the most sober person in the world." Like I'm going to do this thing 100,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like that's the beauty about us addicts and alcoholics is that like
Yep.
when we fully commit to something, it's like, we're going to be the best at it. I'm going to be the
Yeah.
best
Right.
sober person ever. They're going to write books about how sober I am.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so just try that, right? Try calling a loved one, ask them how they're doing, and don't ask them for it, right? Like you'll see their head explode. You'll hang up the phone, or they'll call you back and be like, "Are you okay? Like, is everything okay?" You're like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
I just genuinely was wondering how you were doing. We always talk about how I'm doing, like
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing great, and I wanted to see how you were doing." And they're gonna be like, "Holy fuck, who is this person?" Like
Yeah.
it's a cool experience. It's a cool thing,
Absolutely.
and I left this out of my story, and I'll give you guys like the Cliff Notes version of it, right? But like, um, just another example of like how sobriety, like how great sobriety can work in your life. My mom walked out of my life when I was 8 years old. Not because she's an addict, not for any like major reason. It's not like she was a criminal. It's not like she was an addict. She just decided when I was 8 years old that she didn't want to be a mom anymore, which blows my mind, right? As a dad now, right? Like as a parent, that blows my mind that anybody could do that. And I held on to that anger for the longest time. and I didn't speak to my mom. We didn't have any relationship. I was so angry. I was so mad. Um, I love watching my mom with my kids. I love seeing her as a grandmother. She may have not been the best mom. She may have not been the mom that I needed, but I'm not God. And I don't get to hold that grudge and keep someone from loving my kids, even though they didn't love me maybe the way that I wanted them to, or maybe the way that I deserved to, or whatever. We've made our amends. And one of the greatest gifts that this whole thing has given me is having the ability to have a new relationship with somebody that I didn't have one with for the longest. I mean, it wasn't just not having that relationship, that there was a lot of anger behind that. There was a lot of resentment. And we sat down. We didn't speak a lot, because my mom's one of those sweep it under the rug kind of people. And, but I forgave her. I was able to forgive her and move on. And, she's an incredible grandmother. Hell, today she's an incredible mom. If I called my mom right now, she would answer. So even those tough relationships can be mended. So if anybody's in here thinking, how do I get through that? Like, you just got to give it time. Life, God works in mysterious ways. That's all I can say about that. So I know that we're a little bit over an hour. I don't know if Allie wants to jump in and do whatever.
I got a question for you real quick because I do
Yeah.
have to go. I got to be up at work. I got to be up at 3 a.m.
Oh,
Um,
well, I appreciate you being here.
yeah, no problem. I appreciate your story. I appreciate you telling it, and I thank you. Do you have like an Instagram we could follow or something or
I
anything?
have
Or
a life coach Instagram that's followable. Yeah.
okay, okay.
Yeah. If you
Are
follow
you
Followable.
able?
the life coach page, I don't use it as much as I used to.
Okay,
But there's some stuff on there. There's
okay.
some stuff on there. Maybe
He was on a roll for a while,
I was on a
honestly.
roll for a while, and then life kind of just like came at me like a ton
But
of
I
it
got
bricks.
it.
happens, dude. That's how it happens.
Yeah.
I got it.
I'm like hardly on it at all.
Okay.
But
He's
I
not
did
very
have like a
tech
life coaching
savvy,
page
I
for
feel
a
like.
little bit.
I understand life is busy, man. You got so
Yeah.
much going on. Yeah, I get it. I get
So
it. Well, it's good hearing your story, Ben. Thank you so much.
yeah,
Thank
absolutely.
you. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you.
guys.
Hopefully we'll see you again.
Yeah,
Congrats,
whenever Allie
Ben,
needs
baby.
it.
I appreciate you. Everything, I obviously my phone died at one point, but everything that he said is like absolutely genuine. Oh, Katie just texted me. What are you doing? Tell her to pipe it down.
Babe,
Um,
Allie's right
bah.
here. Allie's right
um,
here. Come
but
here.
we'll definitely have Ben back. He's honestly one of the most like genuine people. He's got all the feelings, but
Come here.
that's why Katie and I love him. Um,
Look,
it's,
Allie's right there.
is she gonna say hi or what? So when he used to run groups and speak in meetings for me, here comes Katie.
They want to know how full of shit I am.
A lot.
Oh my God.
No,
Well,
not.
I hope everyone good morning, Princess. I hope everyone
After
definitely
you.
got something out of that.
Told her
Everything
you were
that
in
he
bed.
said was super, super
Where
genuine,
do you
and
think?
his
Walmart?
life
If
is
you had to guess
completely
where Allie
just
is, yeah, she's in Walmart.
changed. He has a lot of good insight. What is she saying now?
I'm sorry, I was just looking at the aisles.
Oh, I'll call you after this. But we will definitely have Ben back. I hope that everybody has a good rest of their weekend. And if there's anything in specific that you guys want to hear or talk about, or you have any feedback, just throw it in the chat, and I'll put Ben's Instagram thing in the feed chat for everybody if you want to follow.
I don't know how to do that.
Thank you.
All right, guys, have a good night.
Good night. Good night.
Night, guys. Thank you.
Chemtrails.
A what?
I said I won't say chemtrails in the chat.
Somebody messaged me in the chat. Was it? Got it.
Congrats on the baby.
He's not
Thank
tech
you.
savvy at all. It's a disaster.
Connor. Allie, will you put me in contact with Connor?
Yes.
And Craig.
I will.
Connor and Craig. Just, give them my
I got
number.
you. I got you.
Thank
All right,
you.
guys, have a good night. Thank you so much.
You think Allie wants Chipotle?
I do.
Oh, Addie wants Chipotle.
I'm hungry
Sorry,
too.
Allie.
All right, bye guys.
Bye.